Good evening. Welcome back to Expert Insights. Our second guest for tonight, Mr. Josef Gueta. He's the president of the Israeli Chamber of Commerce and also the managing director of a company called Business Intelligence. Now, Josef Gueta is a very colorful character. Number one, he knows Krav Maga, which is the fighting technique in the movie The Bourne Identity, if you saw it. And he's an Israeli. He's been in this country for nearly 20 years and is also married to one of the celebrity garment makers, Lulu Tangan. He's here to talk about business intelligence and from the perspective of Philippines. Josef, Mr. Gueta, welcome to Expert Insights.
Thank you.
So, give us a little profile of yourself, you being a security personnel expert. Yeah.
As any young guy who graduated from school, in our country, you have to go to the military at least for 3 years.
Yeah.
I think during that time, like, we have not so much here as the technology. Everyone want to be engineer, programming, high techs.
Right.
We have a few choices. You want to be a driving bus, which is considered for us very high, doctor, lawyer, and military, or by career, security career.
Yeah.
And I chose to be in the security career.
This is way back in...
From 1974.
Mm-hmm.
That's I decided to lead my own career.
And what brought you to the Philippines?
That time I came from Germany and I was for a short vacation in Israel, and I got a call from a friend and he said if I willing to go to Philippines. I said, where is the Philippines?
For some assignment or just...
to do a job. I think that time was a lot of bank robbery, hold-ups.
Right.
Yeah,
early 90s.
Early
yeah.
90s, and they asked me if I can come with a good programming, training, and strategy for the security.
Yeah.
For several companies. I said, okay, how long will it take me? I said, like 3, 4, 5 months.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, after 5 months, we'll be done, and they asked me, do you want to stay here?
Right.
I said, the country look good, the people nice,
Yeah.
good environment, I'm still single, I have no need to move families.
Yeah.
Back to Israel, I did some clearances, and I came back after 3 months.
Mm-hmm. So now this profession of yours, security expert like bodyguard type of a thing, no? What exactly is it and who needs this kind of services?
When you're talking about bodyguarding, there is a different requirement for...
I was just joking when
yeah.
I meant Kevin Costner's bodyguard, yeah.
Actually, he was trained for that movie with a good friend of mine.
Oh, really?
In Hollywood. Actually,
Yeah.
there were a lot of bodyguards business I got to my friend in Hollywood. I didn't do in Hollywood, but I did it outside of Hollywood.
Right.
Bodyguarding for several movie actor,
Oh,
player.
really? Like that? Okay.
And that's how I knew a lot from the movie industry.
Yeah.
Because of my friend.
Yeah.
I do more on the government's level.
Business
Celebrity, it's a total different of requirements.
It's
It's
a ball
not
game.
how you go with the guns.
Mm-hmm.
There it's more the crowds, and more you have to the fights where the threats can come by touching the actor, whoever the celebrity. For them, it's very irritated.
Shaking.
Shaking,
Yeah.
because they're seeing that as like it entered to the privacy. In security for government, we have a different requirement, very strict requirement.
Mm-hmm.
We have to have very alert on certain issues. You have to be very quick with your mind. Celebrity, it's more you have to be who to touch, what to say, because it's also you are selling image.
Right.
Not in the government.
Yeah.
That's
There can be intrusion, though.
Intrusion.
Yeah.
And so the requirements are different, the movements is different, the preparation is different.
Mm. So now this business of yours is called Business Intelligence, no? What exactly does it do, and what kind of a setup is it today? What's the business model?
The first year interview when we discuss and
Mr. Chandran,
Mr. Chandran, yeah.
For example, yeah.
And I said today it's not the hardware security. World change. If I came 21 years ago to the Philippines,
Yeah.
there was a lot of demand for the physical security requirement, firearms.
Right.
Today the world changed, the technology changed, the education been upgraded into security level. The requirements is different.
Yeah.
And the company doesn't need only the security person who will stay on the gate to protect. Today, informations to make good decisions, to understand the needs. It's been, how to call it, it's been very more needed today than in the past.
Right.
It's not like who I know again. It's just part of business informations. Information today it's very high value in needs to company to survive or to upgrade or to be better or to compete in the markets. And how you gather the information, what the information is necessary, what's the source of informations, if really close real time to know the informations. A key strategy of the marketing, the business who want, the people who want that informations. What type of information in the market exists and you can use as a first layer, second layer, or the deep internally you need that.
So it's more of safety and risk management and intellectual
I don't
property.
call it safety. Intellectual property, yes. You
Risk management?
Risk management. Because risk management, if you look into in the term of how you protect your product, because if the information on the product begins stolen, you lose your reputation, businesses, and financial.
So those are the kind of protections
the
you
protection
provide.
you're looking.
What is an ideal engagement with you? Does it last a long time, or do they maintain your services for a long time, or you just come and go? What kind of a relationship do you form with your customers?
Mostly company will call when there is a problem.
Also, it's a project based.
Sometimes a more educated company or more they're working on the preventive measure, taking the preventive steps. They call you ahead to review the process, they review the informations, the accessibility to informations. From there, they will hire you for coming periodically to. Mostly today, the culture is people ask you when you have a problem to come immediately to respond.
It's more of damage
and
control,
more damage control, and after that, how to structure that again. Mostly, a lot of damages happens, and how to reassess and to check and to look into who are involved. It's more taking time and understanding the businesses and the issues.
Forecast it and be able to
and
do
to know up to what the
preventive.
damages can be.
That would be the smart thing to do, is to prevent it rather than let it happen.
But it's mostly the culture of corporations doing that.
Right,
it's always
so
happening.
it's advanced
After
thinking.
fact, they come into you.
Sir, now can you please share some insights on the Israeli business community in the Philippines? You are the head of the Chamber of Commerce of Israel.
I've been avoiding for almost 19 years not to be at the front
president?
line.
Yeah. Okay.
And then they restructured that again. And previous president asked me if I can join to support, because I know a lot of people, a lot of companies. I said, I will help you, because the ambassador also asked me at that time. And then he stepped down and asked me to take over. It was the decision of all the members, and I think one of the elders and knowing the businesses. We make our direction, it's how to increase the alerts or the awareness to the Israeli business community here.
Right, yes.
Because we are a small community.
How big is it?
36 members by forcing them to be a member, and not all of them.
These are individuals or corporations?
If you look at the type of businesses, it's more individual. It's not people who came here, they put a business. It's not like a big corporation who came to establish. Lately, we see a few big companies from Israel who also they have been all over the world coming to the Philippines. I think a lot of nations seen the opportunity of doing business with the Philippines.
Right.
And we don't want to stay behind.
You want to be left behind.
Left behind. That's where we created, even with DTI, to March 7. We had big events. We, together with the two parties, to introduce more how doing business in Israel, how to deal with the culture of the Israelis doing business. That's important. It's not just money. Just to have good and strong relations, you have to build the trust. And that's what we try to understand, how to work with us, to know what products can do. Even from the chamber, I came with the concept to create a research team, also product monitoring, business matching.
Is that what the chamber's thrust is?
Yes.
To do some research, to
research for, like if you ask me
currently, what are the areas that we are doing business with Israel?
More technology, agriculture, tourism.
We are doing a lot of tourism with Israel.
Tourism.
Which way? From Philippines?
Coming from the Philippines here. I see to my members and friends, a lot of Israeli coming and traveling into the Philippines. I think also that choosing the underground river in Palawan.
Yes.
Make a
People
lot
love
of
it,
a lot of awareness to the Philippines. early 80s, I remember, was towards 90s, was a lot of people coming to Boracay.
Right, which is
But
now kind of Puerto
Probably
Galera.
Portugal, but a lot now from the Israelis all moving to Bangkok, Thailand, and I don't see why they're better than here.
Yeah.
And I think that's why we also the survival program done of Israel done in Camarias del Sur.
Oh, the recent one by
and they did, and
Governor, what's his name?
Survival, that's the,
Yeah, the survivor, yeah,
survival
yeah.
number 3 or 4. And,
Villafuerte, yeah.
and a lot of people love the Philippines, and so they were amazed by the Philippines.
You
beauty.
mentioned technology, exchange with Israel and Philippines. What area? Are we talking about information technology, or are we talking about manufacturing technology?
I also surprised because remember I didn't come from business, I came from operation.
Right.
We realized the Nokia, the phone, right? The Nokia, even the same card,
The chip, yeah.
chips, and all came actually started in Israel. The invention
The original
of that.
design, you mean
The invention,
the
yeah,
technology.
it came from Israel. I was surprised. I learned that only actually last year with the previous ambassador. And again, we hear that again, and another technology we heard. That's where IBM started with us, Intel, all the big company of the technology, their first step started with Israel.
Oh, is that so? I didn't know that.
We have one of the biggest, how they call this in technology, one of the biggest in the world.
What are the businesses, those 36 members that Israeli Chamber has? Are there any of them that have a major presence in the Philippines? You said they're all small businesses.
If you're familiar with Amadox, Amadox is one of the biggest
I'm
high-tech.
not familiar with Amadox.
Yeah, I'm in Israel. Everyone knows, but maybe in other. There are more than 36 countries that have been present, but sometimes in different name of companies, not necessarily Amadox. In Israel, we call them Amadox. They came here. They did very well study, and now they're working with global things with this PLDT. This one, one of
They're solutions providers.
Solution provider, the programming, all around.
How about the presence of Philippine businesses or Filipino professionals in Israel? What is the picture? What's the big picture there?
I also about the figure of how many Filipinos there, because we asked me also towards tourism. I probably am going back.
Yeah.
There is a lot of tourism from here going towards Israel, but more in the religious tour, not really looking into Israel.
Right.
And that's why I say, why you not divert into this? Yeah, why you don't divert more into looking into other places in Israel? And probably they're looking into. If I looking at the Filipino doing business, I know in Israel, I know they are doing export from here for fruits, dry foods, food more.
Yeah.
I know tuna, the bangus, I know the
bangus, the fish,
also
yeah.
the fish.
The deep fried.
Even they came, I know I met the people in Saragani when they asked to do, and Israel doesn't want little bit with the wings, there is a different preparations.
Yeah.
I know Dole, they have drinks, they send in the drinks there. There is more on the consumer products, I see. Technology, I know there is a lot of the Filipino very good in technology, learning, even studying Israel and the technology and board that's here. We also encouraging a high-tech company in Israel to come to work with the Filipino here, to train the Filipino and to move the product out. But they use it because of the lower cost, the knowledge of the people, and the good and working environment compared to Israel.
In terms of social presence in the Philippines, is there any synagogue or any cultural activities happening in Metro Manila ever? I'd like to attend one because I love Jewish food. Yeah.
You know where I buy my food, the Jewish food? I buy that from synagogue.
There's a synagogue in
Salcedo
Village.
Salcedo Village.
Right.
Actually, today it's called the Purim. It's the holiday.
Purim?
Purim. It's considered like what the Halloween, the mask when you wear in, you go to the streets, all the parade. It's a big event.
Like Mascara in Bacolod? So it's
something like this.
So it's happening right now in
Yeah,
Salcedo?
happening in Israel.
So do I wish you Happy Purim Day?
Yes, please.
Okay, Happy Purim Day. Happy Purim Day to the Jewish community, yeah.
And I know they celebrate, the other day celebrated, yesterday actually celebrated in the synagogue. Tonight there is a big party, a lot of the Jewish community going to one of our members. The food I'm getting from there. The social work or the synagogue here, they're very active on creating, how do you call this, events, or from to put all together. Also from the Bible study, there are events on celebrations, putting in different events going out
From
together.
the Torah.
From the Torah also, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I know the rabbi always pushing me to be part of it, and they are really forcing me, but again, to see me in the synagogue, it's like the Messiah coming.
Yeah.
But the very active community, I think small but very quality one.
Joseph, we have kind of used up our time here. We have 2 or 3 minutes left now. Tell me, what are your dreams for yourself in this country, and what do you plan to put out as far as being the president of the Israeli Chamber of Commerce? What do you plan to achieve in the coming years for yourself and the Israeli community?
I'm also the president of the Foreign Chamber, the
Oh,
Joint
yeah,
Foreign
yeah,
also.
right.
Our achievement is really to put Israel on the map destination for the Filipino, and also for Israel to see that Philippines is a good area to be a part of the business destination, and very good host country to what they did in the past to us, for us.
We have never had any issues between Israel.
No, actually, if I remember, they voted for us 1947 in the United Nations to be a nation, Israel. And the Israelis never forgot what they did. Also, they cut off the 10,000 visas when they accept us after the Second World War. Israel never forgot what Philippines did for us.
All right.
That's why we're going a lot towards to them. On that, my vision to have very good business change information to protect, to protect the interests of these two countries.
Yeah.
And my business, my goal, private, personal goal, always in my younger boy in the military and my service, always to be the best. And
physically fit and
physically
active.
And business to be the best, and always protecting that.
Joseph, it's been a pleasure having you on Expat Insights, and I love your culture. I love the Jewish food, so maybe I'll go and visit the synagogue today, because in my neighborhood, when I grew up, I was surrounded by Jewish Indians. So I don't know how to say thank you in Jewish.
Toda rabba. Toda rabba.
Toda Rabba. Toda Rabba. It's like, sounds like Spanish.
Thank you. Yes, yeah,
Toda means all and Rabba means God.
Okay.
So thank God, and so Mabuhay and welcome to, thank you for being on this show.
Thank you.
So good luck with everything you do.
Okay, thanks a lot.
So ladies and gentlemen, that was Josef Gueta, the Krav Maga master, like the Bone Identity, and he's the president of the Israeli Chamber of Commerce. So I hope you enjoyed the show. Thank you for watching Expat Insights, and we'll see you next Sunday. Good night and Mabuhay.